I went from my very highly skeptical front row seat in the press briefing room at the State Department, took a walk of about 1.5 yards, and stood behind the dais articulating U.S. foreign policy. I was Assistant Secretary of State for Public Affairs and spokesman for the State Department.
And the year?
The year was the end of, it was 1984, the end of 84 until my famous resignation in October of 86. Yeah. You're quite right. It's a different departure. I changed cultures. I went from a culture in which there was a period that spokesmen like to put out. Spokesmen like to believe that whatever they say ends in an unchallenged period. Journalism lives with sentences that end with question marks, and you had this big collision between periods and question marks. And for me, it was a dramatic change. So the question is, why did you do it? Because in a way, the job, like so many jobs, becomes repetitious. Dealing with foreign policy issues as a reporter, there was a curiosity to know what went on the other side of the story. When I got there, I found out that the other side of the story is very well known to reporters. Reporters, speaking of top secrets, reporters know 97% of them. They may not know the exact date of when something's happening or the time, but by and large, a good reporter has the melody of the story and he knows where it's going and what's happening and whatnot. But it seemed to me to be an opportunity that Secretary George Shultz invited me that I thought it was tough to resist. Like Marvin, you take a 90% pay cut to go from a television salary to working for the U.S. government. But I have an endless supply of daughters. They were essentially all out of college, and so my financial burdens were much lighter at that time. And it was irresistible to give it a try. I suppose I didn't explore the outer limits of what the challenges and the frustrations would be, which indeed there were. But it was an interesting exploratory journey. I'm glad I took it. And then it ended rather abruptly when I picked up a copy of the Washington Post one day in October of '86, and I discovered that the United States was involved in what Bob Woodward in his big 8-column banner headline story called a disinformation campaign about my favorite dictator, Muammar Gaddafi. And my world is not disinformation. My world is precisely the opposite. And it became an environment which you could not be in. And I went to see the Secretary of State. I said, look, this is not for me. I mean, my loyalties, my professional loyalties, my whole upbringing is journalism. And not only that, not only from the point of view of my feelings about this, not having known about it, because I knew nothing about this disinformation campaign. I said, you're staining the credibility of America. You're hurting America with deception and disinformation. And grateful for the opportunity, but not for me.